Baby, give me your hand. Stay there.
Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So tonight we are talking about The Dare, but before we get to that, I just want to give you a couple of quick channel updates. First of all, me and my daughter have made a decision on what we're going to call the retro reviews that I'm going to start doing. I had about 20 people suggest names, and I just want to say thank you to every single one, but I can only pick one. And actually my daughter picked it, and she goes, oh, it just makes total sense.
What's your pleasure, sir?
We have such sights to show you.
Groovy.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
So what we're doing is we're dusting off these old classic movies that I loved as a kid and, you know, as a teenager and young adult. And we're dusting them off, and we're going to re-wax them as I present them to you and give, you know, a review and my opinion on them. I'm going to start doing those really soon. I'm building 2 new studios. Now, I'm not getting rid of these ones, this one and the other one that I have, but I'm building 2 more in my house. So I want to have a specific kind of a retro. It's not really going to look retro style, but I just want to have every segment to have a different background sort of thing. So this one in the other studio I use pretty much for my movie reviews. And then the retro re-waxing studio is going to be a lot smaller and tighter, okay, with more pictures in the background. And it's going to be a lot more video clip oriented, where I'm going to talk over it, not so much my fat ass sitting here in front of you, playing the trailer of the movie down below as I give you a review. It's going to be more like video oriented in that style. And then the 4th studio that I'm building is, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, if you haven't, go back and find these videos. I know I should have a playlist on my YouTube channel, but I just haven't got around to it. So anyways, me and my buddy Axemaster, who sometimes does reviews with me, and then our friend Anton Mysterio had a segment called Let's Talk Horror. It was more of a podcast style where we would just pick a topic, you know what I mean, and talk about it for half hour to 45 minutes. I've had a bunch of you ask me for that segment and why we don't do it anymore. So I'm hoping to start that back up in the summertime. But I just want to build a separate studio for that one. So every, you know, different segment of the channel has its own different kind of look sort of thing. So, and then I don't have to keep setting shit up and all that sort of stuff. So I've got these 2 studios for movie reviews. The retro re-waxing studio is going to be set up soon. I should have it ready to go by the weekend. It's not, like, again, it's not going to be very big. And then the other one I'm setting up is more of a podcast style set for Let's Talk Horror. So those are going to start really soon. So just bear with me. And yeah. And also too, I just really wanted to quickly say we are very close to 2,500 subscribers. If you check my analytics, I shouldn't say I am. I said we, as a family here on Happywax TV. We are right now averaging about 160 subscribers a month, which is fucking awesome. You know, sometimes I sit down and wonder, you know, about a year and a half ago when I had my old channel taken down, I just wondered what our subscriber count would be now if it wasn't taken down. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? And again, if you're hesitant to subscribe, thinking that I don't. Again, and you know, the people that have been here for a while know this. I don't use this channel to make money, okay? I just love talking about horror movies, and this is a platform I can talk to you guys on about it, and I love it, and I love interacting with you guys. It's great, and you meet a lot of nice people, and I don't need the money that YouTube gives or anything else. And I know I've said this for the last year, but I will eventually start a Patreon, and all the money on the Patreon I will give to charity, as I do every Christmas. And yeah, it's just, I just want a bigger subscriber count just so more people can be part of the audience. That's all. I don't need, you know, subscribers because the money goes up, because I don't really need that. So that's not why I do it. Anyways, okay, you've heard me ramble on about that. So anyways, there's all the channel updates. So that's what's going to happen. Hopefully I didn't bore you or lose some of you thinking you're coming here for a fucking movie review. So anyways, that aside, now we're going to talk about this movie, The Dare. This is a movie I wasn't going to watch because I watched the trailer and I just didn't care for it. I didn't think the trailer looked that good. In fact, I think I rolled my eyes in it a couple times, you know what I mean? But I had a few of you ask me if I was going to talk about it, and I'm all about the subscribers, you know, keeping you guys happy, so I thought, fuck it. And here we go again. I'm going to sit down just like I did with some fucking clown movies a little while ago and fucking fight to get through this one. But I'm going to tell you something. This movie is fucking great. Like, honestly, it's, I mean, it's not like the best movie I've ever seen, but it's better than a lot of the ones I've seen this year. Now, one reviewer called it one of the scariest, most suspenseful movies of the year. I don't know if I'd go that far. Okay, but this is definitely a good movie. And if I'm just going to give it a rating now, if in case you're sick of hearing me talk. So on IMDb, they're giving it a 4.7. I honestly would give this movie probably like a good strong 6.5, maybe even a 7. I know that seems like a lot, but I don't know, man. It's just something drew me into this movie, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I ended up thinking it was fucking pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of blood and guts in this movie too. Now, I will say the director Gilles Alderson, he was the producer on a movie I did a while ago, and I love that movie called A Serial Killer's Guide to Life. Okay, and that movie was fantastic, but it was ultra low budget. Okay, and all the kills in that movie, like, there was hardly any gore in it, okay? So every time that they'd kill somebody, it would be a cut shot, you know what I mean? Like hammer to the head or axe to the whatever, and it would more or less be a cut shot, and then they'd be laying around the ground in a puddle of blood and next to no gore. And I get it, they didn't have a lot of cash. It is what it is. Great movie, great story, and well acted. But in this movie, you know what I mean? Like, he's gone from producer, well, he's also the writer, and he's also one of the producers, but he's directed this one. Okay, and they obviously had more money, and I'm telling you, not the special effects, because there is a little CGI. There's a lot of bugs in this movie, like spiders and cockroaches and maggots and stuff, and some of those are CGI. Okay, but they're very quickly used and well used. But the blood and the gore in this movie, for the most part, is all practical. And goddamn, to the practical effects guys, thumbs up, because, you know, for a lower budgeted movie, you guys did a fucking fantastic job. So, very quickly, it stars it stars Bart Edwards as Jay Jackson. Richard Brake as Credence. He's kind of the father in this movie. And then pretty much the other people are just Richard Short, Alexandria Evans, and Robert Mazur plays Dominic. He's kind of, if you see the poster or the trailer, he's kind of the big muscular guy with the mask on his face. The mask on his face, and so, like, this is a huge nod to a bunch of horror films, which is also pretty cool. I mean, you could just spend this movie picking out all the nods to all the horror movies that are, like, I mean, you've got Saw. I mean, the face mask alone that he wears is made out of human flesh. So right there, you could say, you know, Leatherface, or even the what they're doing to these people, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The way the mask is styled kind of looks like a hockey mask, Friday the 13th. And there's even a scene at the end, and I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but there's a scene at the end, and I'm not giving any spoilers here, but one of the characters escapes, okay? And he's all beat up, you know, whatever, and he's walking through the forest, and the way he is walking, the way his ankle is turned in, is exactly the same. And it's just a quick little shot. It's like a 2 or 3 second shot, but they show him walking, and it's an exact replica of how Flyboy comes out of the fucking elevator when the doors open, when he's in a zombie, how he's got his ankle kind of contorted to the side. So, I mean, there's little snippets like that throughout this entire movie that you can just pick other horror movies out, and it's fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, it just adds to the coolness of this movie. But basically, short synopsis is Jay Jackson is the main character. He is getting ready to go on a kind of a business trip. The night before, he's hanging out with his 2 daughters and his wife, and then they're attacked in their home. And when he gets knocked out, when he wakes up, he's in this room, this dirt covered kind of concrete room. He's tied to the wall by his wrist and with a chain, and then there's 3 other people in there. And by the looks of them, they have been there for a while because they're all bloodied up and hurt. Okay, so this is the first act. So we quickly learn that the attacker, this Dominic guy, this big muscular guy that you see in the trailer and on the poster, comes in and he tortures these people. Okay, We don't know why. We don't know what he's doing it for. But he doesn't torture them. What he does is he comes in and he hands somebody an instrument, whether it's a knife, a screwdriver, whatever, scalpel, and then he makes the person that he hands the instrument to torture one of the other people. You know what I'm saying? And then if he doesn't do it, or she doesn't do it, because there's 3 guys and 1 girl in this room. If they don't do it to the other person, then the person that doesn't do it gets hurt by this dominant character. That's pretty much Act 1, is we're just trying to figure out why this is happening and kind of what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? Like, why is all this going on? So Act 2 is we've kind of, and I'm not trying to give spoilers here, but they kind of figure out who this dominant character is. Okay, but the torturing continues throughout, and then in the third act, I mean, you know, they plan for an escape. I think it shows it in the trailer too, that one of them eventually escapes. Do you know what I mean? But it's just the way it's put forward, and it's the pacing is fantastic. It's just over an hour and a half, and the cool thing too is, I mean, we're given present day shots of you know, them getting tortured and the stuff that he does, and then we're given flashbacks, and that's where Richard Brake comes in. And he's Dominic's father, but he's not really his father. He is lying to him, saying that his parents were killed or they left him. You know what I mean? So he took him in, and now he's keeping him as his son. And he runs a slaughterhouse style of a facility, okay? And that's where the majority of the flashback sequences take place. But Richard Brake's character is almost like he's grooming this Dominic character to hate people. The things he does to him as a child, like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And it builds more and more anger in this Dominic character until it explodes. And then we have this movie set in front of us. So that's all I'm going to say about it, but it's really well shot. The gore effects in this movie are fantastic. And honestly, it just came out, and I highly recommend this movie. Again, it's not going to be the greatest movie you ever see, and there is a little silliness that we have to just accept, you know, near the ending. And I will say this too, the very, very ending, like after the movie ends, there's like a little, I don't know if they did like an add-on clip thinking they didn't have enough, but there's like a 5-minute segment at the very end of this movie before the credits roll, and I wish they would have just left it out. You know what I mean? Like they could have just ended the movie like how they did without this end segment, and they didn't need it in there. It was absolute silliness. And it shouldn't have been put in there. But other than that, I mean, you know, other than your usual, you know, things you're supposed to accept and a little silliness in pretty much any horror movie, I mean, it's good. It really is good. So yeah, to give it a rating, I would give it like a 6.5. You know, maybe a 7, but you know, I think a strong 6.5. But definitely watch this movie. I liked it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be, guys. If you've seen it, it's out now. Chime in, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't seen it, please, $5. $5, you can go rent the video on demand. Go rent it, come back and leave me comments and let me know what you think, guys. And as always, stay scared.